Morning, good afternoon, friends. Happy to be here. Today we're going to talk about the changes in marketing, and at least at IBM, the journey we've been on, described in 4 chapters. So, as we all know, the CMO of today is vastly different than the CMO of even just 5 years ago. We've all gone from having a sense of we set the expectations for our customers to, of course, she sets the pace. She's the one who's determining what she wants, what she needs every step of the way. We've gone from art to, of course, science and art, and from vertical silos to agile to the core. But perhaps my favorite, technology being some guys down the hall we don't really know, to, of course, technology as our marketing competitive advantage at the core of everything we do as marketers. And yet, the big idea still matters more than ever. Yes, of course, it's more about science and data than ever before, but storytelling and the big idea really matters. The marketing opportunity has fundamentally changed, and as a result, we have been at IBM on a journey to become the most outcomes-oriented, client-centric, agile to the core marketing team on the planet. The most important constant in all of this has been our great passion to embrace change, to fundamentally embrace changing everything about the way we work. IBM has always stood at our core for 3 major things. Innovative technology through the years. We've been around for 108 years, so innovative technology for us has changed era after era. Industry expertise, that we work at the intersection of technology and making real scale business change happen. And of course, trust and responsibility. And that idea, as you saw from our opening video, in today's day and era matters more than ever. Clients have to be able to rely on us, trust us, that the technology we bring to bear to the forefront is one that they can rely on themselves. And that's why our big idea has always been that we can put smart to work at scale with our clients and for society. And this isn't working. So with our values clear, the question for us has always become, how do we change almost everything else about the way that we go about working? For us, there's been a journey in 4 chapters. And Chapter 1 has been knowing our user even better than we know ourselves. And of course, as we know, there's been a tremendous amount of data coming to bear. So it's not that we have to rely on traditional means of knowing and understanding our customers. We know more than ever that, We know more than ever that there's new forms of information, new forms of data that help us understand our customer. Can you guys turn it in the back? This isn't working, so if you can turn it in the back, that would be great. Thank you. Put this down. All right, so first of all, how strongly does she feel about our offerings? We have implemented NPS as a methodology across everything we do. So every time that our customer comes, they have the ability to give us input, give us an understanding of what they think about our offerings, from everything like the mainframe that we sell to our clients to everyday user experiences. This is critical. Secondly, what is shaping her expectations? The tremendous amounts of data we're all getting in as marketers, unprecedented, and that allows us to fundamentally understand what her expectations are and how they're changing. And of course, finally, how do we co-create the future with her? IBM has changed. We now have garages all around the world, which allows us to get information about our customers and allows us to co-create with them. This year alone, we've had hundreds and hundreds of garage examples where we're in the garage with our clients, changing the way we work, doing things in very unique and new ways. And so this has been our Chapter 1. Our Chapter 1 has been fundamentally about understanding how we understand our customers and how we co-create and co-design for her. But the second chapter, the second really important chapter for us, has been about how we think about effectiveness. There's a great quote that I've always loved: half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. That was John Wanamaker way back when, decades ago. Now, of course, as marketers, that is no longer true. We have the ability to understand and improve every single interaction and every single dollar we spend to drive outcomes and improved outcomes. And this has been critical for us as marketers, because all of a sudden we go from not knowing so much about the effectiveness of all the dollars to having a seat at the table and understanding every dollar we spend. We have 3 principles at IBM Marketing. I'm going to show you a short video of how we work. The first one is that there's been a tremendous amount of data foundation set. This is our tool that all of our marketers have the ability to use each and every day. So we have radical transparency. Every dollar we spend is tracked. Marketers can come in and they can do a quick chat to find the tools they're looking for. There's one marketer workspace. So if they're looking for something like Net Promoter Score, they can quickly get to understanding their information. They can look at the top sheet. This is a view where I can see all the dollars we have in market at any one point in time, and what the effectiveness is each, and how each of my teams are doing using their money. If I run one of the business units, I can see all the campaigns that I have in market and how each of those campaigns are performing against all the other campaigns. I can see my $170 million in media spend. I can track it over time to see if my teams are making improvement. And I can even see by every single channel: search, paid, displayed, social. As a team, I can look at every single channel and see immediately the return in effectiveness. But one of the things we spend a lot of time on is audience. Being able to collect tremendous amounts of data and seeing that a particular campaign, in this case, is driving a very strong response from health and safety professionals. Those health and safety professionals are coming organically. They're looking at a Magic Quadrant report. So in the same tool with the same capability, this marketing team can go into our partner Optimizely and decide to change the web page to test whether doing something tailored to health and safety, tailored with a Magic Quadrant, will create more effectiveness for them. So that incredible dynamism allows marketers everywhere in the world to marry art and marry science in a really profound way. And this has caused a huge lift in our campaign results. So our results have increased significantly year over year. We now have over 100 million prospects that we have access to and that we can track regularly. And 65% of all of our new responses are from new clients and prospects. So for us, this has made marketing way more data-driven and really increased our ability to be effective. But the third chapter for us is one that I'm perhaps most excited about. Now, Agile, as a discipline, came to the forefront after an amazing experience in the Wasatch Mountains that many people had in 2001, writing the Agile Manifesto. I was CEO of Travelocity at the time, and we decided to be one of the first companies at scale to implement Agile as a principle in software development. So right there after the Wasatch Retreat, we at Travelocity implemented Agile. And it was an incredible time because we were all learning, what does Agile methodology mean for software development? What does it mean for the functions of engineering? And of course, like every Agile experiment, once we went through it, we knew we would never turn back. So I have been passionate and on a mission about Agile as a discipline, not just for software engineering, but for functions like marketing for a long time. At IBM, I'm happy to say that we now have 6,000 marketers fully working in Agile every single day. And for us, that has been a huge transformation. It started, of course, with culture, building values of openness and trust, honesty, respect, and courage. We took our marketers through 6 months of training on Agile as a discipline to become Agile marketers. 80% of our marketers now feel like they deeply understand the core values and how to apply it in their marketing work. Secondly, spaces. We renovated spaces all around the world for our 6,000 marketers, so we all work in open Agile teams, which has been very powerful to create greater cross-functional alignment. The third thing, of course, has been training. As I said, we put our marketers through 6 months of deep, intense training, some online, some in person, and then, of course, support. We put Agile coaches around the world in all of our major offices to help our marketers truly become Agile. But finally, of course, is skilling and learning. At IBM in marketing, you're expected to do at least about 80 hours of training a year. So we ensure that all of our marketers are going deeper and deeper in their profession, whether they're a content marketer, a product marketer, an analyst, a data scientist, search engine expert. So this idea of constant training and constant kind of reflection and assessment is core to what we do. The final chapter, though, is how is new technology shaping what we do as marketers? And there's two technologies that I'm particularly passionate about in marketing that are on the forefront. You see them here all over the floor that we're applying at scale at IBM. The first one is AI. And there's a lot of talk about AI and what it will do for society, what it'll do for businesses. I think it'll do three things for marketers. The first one is it changes what we know about our customer. This is a great example of using social profiles to understand personality insights and really understand the customer better. If you visit our booth later, we have some great partners who are looking at facial recognition scanning to understand sentiment. Secondly, though, it's also changing how we interact with our customers. Here's a great example of Watson ads where now advertising doesn't have to be static in one way, but you can be asking questions in the ad, you can think about the things that matter most to you in the car search you're doing, and you get an interactive advertisement, which is really an exciting thing for us. We call these Watson ads. We have a lot of tremendous partners. But the last one is it'll change how we actually do our work. With the tremendous amounts of data that we're all absorbing as marketers, it's going to be critical that AI helps us understand how we do our work better. Now, you've seen that in things like chatbots and support, but it also will apply for the marketer. This is an example of Watson Chat with our marketers, where our marketers can hear for their campaign, for the things they have in market, what is the next best opportunity to optimize? So scanning thousands of other campaigns, what does AI recommend that this particular team focus on in terms of improving their marketer? Here they're saying that they're underperforming display engagement, and they make some suggestions about what the team can do to optimize display. So this idea that AI will reshape marketing is one I'm passionate about, but particularly in those three areas: changing what we know about our customers, changing how we interact with our customers, and changing how we ourselves do the work of marketing. The second big technology that I think will really revolutionize and improve marketing is blockchain. And if you think about blockchain as an immutable source of truth in complicated supply chains, one of the most complicated supply chains is actually media buying. And it used to be the case, even just 15 years ago, that when an advertiser spent $1, about 80 cents of that made its way, 85 cents to the publisher, to our consumer. So only about 15% kind of wasted in that supply chain. But today, those numbers are vastly different. Today, because of things like DSPs and DMPs and viewability and the like, only about 40 cents to 50 cents of every dollar actually makes its way in front of the customer. So we, as marketers, are losing about 60% of our money on that complicated supply chain. What will blockchain have the promise of doing? Blockchain can do a few things for us, I think, really well. First of all, transparency, efficiency, and reconciliation, allowing us to understand the middlemen and take out all the manual reconciliation, automate reconciliation through blockchain. Secondly, immutability, traceability, and trust. This is such a difficult area for all of us. We want to know where our ads appear and how they appear. Leveraging blockchain will have much more ability to understand and trace where our ads are appearing. And finally, this whole thing will allow us to, at least 60 cents is our expectation, improve the amount of money that actually makes its way in front of dollars. Now, you think about that, 20% improvement in media effectiveness on the scale of our marketing dollars is an unbelievable amount of money to unleash with the help of blockchain. And at IBM, we're hard at work on this today. We have consortiums and partners led by Unilever, Kellogg's, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Kimberly-Clark, agencies and tech providers, all working with ourselves in Mediaocean to get these blockchain trials going. We've been doing this now about 3 quarters, and I've really been quite excited about the promising results. So this is another technology that I think will soon help all of us as marketers achieve even more of our vision. But finally, it's the most important time for marketers to think about accelerating things like inclusion, what our brand stands for, how we behave, the values we have as a brand. We see in the news over and over and over again, these things are increasingly on display. And so this idea that we as marketers have to stand for good technology, for the values of our company, for the brand, is more important. Yesterday here at VivaTech, our chairman announced that we're increasing P-Tech schools. P-Tech schools, we have over 14 countries with P-Tech schools. We're adding 2 more in France here as of yesterday. And these are schools where now there's 125,000 young people in them. They're 6-year schools, equivalent of like a 4-year degree plus a 4-year high school or lycée plus kind of a 2-year college. And they're incredible. They're deep kind of technology, data, science, learning machines for students. So they come out empowered with the skills they need to succeed. These schools mostly serve underprivileged young people. And the graduation rate, the work rate is extraordinary. And we're doing this at scale. This is 125,000 young people growing by leaps and bounds. And as of yesterday, now here in France. So this is an exciting thing to think about. How we vastly improve training, not for your degrees necessarily, but give everybody the tech skills they need as their jobs change because of things like AI in the future. And of course, there's so much more. My favorite, Be Equal. We've been doing at IBM. It's a 108-year history. We were amongst the first technology companies to have policies that were independent, hiring people independent of race and gender. Non-discrimination policies. We've stood for LGBTQ, transgender rights for a very long time. And this is an era where this means more than ever. So standing for things like equality, inclusion, call for code, things like yesterday we also announced Skills Build, an online platform to help those who have been out of work re-enter the workforce with our pledge, along with many other companies, to hire people who get through the program. So as marketers, we have this incredible responsibility to also showcase our brand, to keep our brand front and center, to keep our values front and center in an era where consumers care about that more than ever.